Hi again, it's Sue from Maze. Now, what we try to do at Maze is offer help and support and information for parents and carers who've got children with additional needs, and we offer a specialist weekly programme, additional half-day workshops and drop-in coffee mornings. But more than what we actually offer, what we try to do is create this community network of parents. And what we also try to do is connect with other organisations that share the same values as us, that also help parents. So a big part of what we do is a community collaboration. Hi Annie, thanks for coming to speak to me today.
Very nice of you to ask me to come.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So you and I first met, didn't we, through this social entrepreneurs network?
Absolutely.
So you and I are both social entrepreneurs, so that means we're kind of in this charity space, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We both have organisations that are considered to be within the charitable sector. And yours is autism and ADHD, and obviously at Maze that's a big part of what we do too, so there's a big overlap, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me, what is autism and ADHD? What do you do?
So we're, as you said, a social enterprise. We're a lifespan service, and we work with anyone who lives or works with autism or ADHD. We don't need a diagnosis to be in place for us to be able to work with the family or the professional team. We provide support, information and training, so in many ways very similar to what you offer. So there's some synergy there, but I think we've also got our own unique stamp that we put on it, which is important. I feel quite passionate that parents should have a choice of who they go and access. One person is not right for everybody, and I think it's important there's lots of places for them to go to.
Yeah, and also we were just talking about this earlier, that you're based in Suffolk, aren't you?
Yes.
And Maze is based in Essex,
Mm-hmm.
and we refer families to each other, don't we? Because
Definitely.
I sometimes think, I don't really know much about what's happening in Suffolk, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in Suffolk, what are the sorts of bits of work that you're doing? You work with families.
We work with families.
What do you mean by that? What work do you do with families?
So we provide face-to-face support sessions that are very bespoke to what happens with that family. Families can self-refer in, but we also get referrals through health, education, social care, as you might expect. Businesses sometimes as well. So we would primarily work with the parents in that situation. My passion is to be able to give them strategies that will last them a lifetime, not just go in, solve one problem and come out, because that's not necessarily, it's helpful for that particular bit, but it's not necessarily helping them long term, and trying to not make them service dependent, so they can then bespoke the information that we give them so it fits for their family as an individual family, because it's quite important. We don't all work the same way or want the same things.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one thing I know from you is how passionate you are about what you do, and I know that comes from a lifetime of experience as a professional, but also as a parent too.
Yes, so I've got 3 grown-up children. 2 of them now live away from home and are in relationships and have children of their own. And my middle son Tom, who's the most severely autistic of my 3, and he's 24/7 care, and he's still at home with us. All of my family have got a connection in there as individuals to a diagnosis of varying different levels and need. So yes, very much living and breathing it on a day-to-day basis, as are all of my team. So my team all have a personal connection, either in the same way as myself, or they have a diagnosis in their own right, and some of them have both of that.
I see. So you have a team who have experience both personally and professionally that work with families.
Yes.
So can you just give me a couple of examples of maybe bits of work that you're doing with families? I don't know if you've got some, maybe you'll support people sometimes in meetings, or go and work with people at home, or, I mean, can you give us a flavour
It
of what you
varies
do?
tremendously from one family to the other, and so it should, because it shouldn't just be a one thing fits all. So there'll be some families where the issues may be very much centred at home, where they're finding that challenge, and others where it could be at school, and so we will very much engage with wherever that family needs us to be. So in some situations we may be going into a school and doing an observation, being able to support the school and family then together about bringing strategies and solutions in across both, so which is really important. in my opinion, to be able to do that and get family and school working together as a team rather than it being seen as a case of friction.
That's what we find too. It's so important that you have families and professionals with the same shared framework of understanding of the needs of that young person, because they then get the best possible outcomes.
Absolutely, which in our success criteria is basically that we're working ourselves out of a job. And that's actually really important, that they're not, as I say, service dependent. We've got some families where maybe the parents themselves have got a diagnosis or are seeking a diagnosis, and then we work in a very different way in many ways, that we're trying to then make sure that the parents are feeling supported and understand for them to be able to parent successfully themselves.
So Annie, although I know you're based in Ipswich, you'll go anywhere really, won't you?
Yeah, so we actually work with families from lots of different countries as well, not just from the UK.
Wow.
So we've got families that contact us from Asia and America and Australia. I think there's an element where everybody's looking for the service that just feels the right fit.
So if they're in Essex, they can contact you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
all right. So Essex, we work with a lot of families in Essex, and I think that they can reach us in lots of different ways. So again, we've tried to make it as accessible as possible.
Yeah, so tell us about that. How can people get in touch with you?
So they can go on our Facebook page, which and all of our social media is Autism and ADHD with a number 1 on the end, whether that's Twitter or whatever.
Okay,
so
I'll
it's
put
all
the
the
links
same.
to that in the video.
We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, all with the same handle or whatever it's called. So that's fine, and they can either post or send messages through the direct message through there. They can obviously go to the website, which is just autismandadhd.org, and there's a contact page on there, so they can reach us there.
And there's a charge for your service, isn't there?
Yes, there is, unfortunately. I wish we were in a position to be able to do it for free, but we're just not, and that's fine. All of our training that we deliver, that money goes back into the organisation to subsidise the work that we do with families as well. So a session with myself is £40 for an hour. That covers the hour, but also covers us making contact with any professionals that the family may be working, and it enables them to contact us in between sessions. Sessions are completely under their control. We don't dictate how often they see us. Because it's very different as well, where families need that, and we never close a file, so they can always come back to us at any point in the future if they need to do so.
Brilliant, that's great. Well, thanks so much for coming to speak to me today,
thank
Annie.
you for having me.
And I know we'll have many more lunches together in the future.
Of course.